Okay, fam, welcome back. So today we're going to be going over the buy, sells, and dividends for the week of the 22nd through the 28th. So with that being said, let's get it. Okay, so um, we'll go over the minors on Monday. We're not going to do that today. The other thing I wanted to bring up was the content that usually we don't talk about here. That was talked about last night. Look, I'm not going to explain anything to y'all. You guys can believe what you want to, do what you want to. You are free to cross reference whatever I said with any scripture you want to. I'm not here to convince you of anything. My job is to deliver the message. My job is not to convince you. Okay. I will say this I've been making predictions for a very long time, and I've done probably, I've lost count. It's been so many, maybe like 50 or 100, somewhere in there. Everything ranging from wars to the pandemic to the government printing $10 trillion to the UFO sightings to Trump getting elected. And keep in mind, there was people on the opposite side, on the Democratic side, that were sure that Kamala was going to win, right? They were sure Kamala was going to win, but I was telling y'all, like, no, I don't think so, dude. I'm pretty sure Trump's going to win. Um, that in itself was a prediction, okay? There was even one guy that had a flawless track record that ended up losing that prediction. And again, what I say comes directly from above. Okay. You guys are free to believe whatever you want to about that. Okay. I'm not going to have this discussion again, nor am I going to explain myself here. Okay. I don't need to. What I will tell you is this. Okay. I'm not saying that the Bible is not legitimate. It is. There is other books outside of the Bible that were removed from the Bible a long time ago that are just now being rediscovered by society. Um, I will just say this again, no disrespect to anybody, but if you believe that God and these timeless, eternal beings that know and see everything are somehow limited to one book that they created, um, I don't know what to tell you. Okay. Obviously Christ, obviously the Bible is very legitimate. It's historical data. Okay, we all know it's true. Um, but what I'm telling you is that if you believe that the God that created all of existence is somehow limited to that, then you've got some bigger problems. That's all I got to tell you. Okay. Um, that may perhaps be the reason why I'm the one getting these visions and you're not. No disrespect, but I'm just going to put it to you like that. Okay, so let's get into the content now that I'm done with that. Okay, so I want to go here over M1 Finance first. We're going to talk about the dividends for the week. So, again, we haven't really been focused on this too heavily as of recently. The reason being, simply put, is because, we're in crypto right now. We want to make bank in crypto. This is a once in every 4-year opportunity. It's a rare opportunity, and we're right in the eye of the storm of the bull run, so to speak. I do think that the next 3 months are going to be pretty insane for the altcoin market and Ethereum. Doesn't mean Bitcoin can't go higher. Like I said, it probably will. It's just a matter of how long it's going to take for it to happen. Okay. Um, so once the bull run's over in crypto and we're sure that there is actually going to be a bear market, again, whether that's actually going to happen or not, now that we have the spot ETFs, that's kind of up in the air. We'll keep an eye on the timeline for when we think that's going to happen. And if it does not happen, then obviously, the 4-year cycles have been broken. Do I think they're going to be broken even with the spot ETFs? Probably not. I highly doubt it. I mean, look, these people that invest with BlackRock and Fidelity and those guys, they're extremely wealthy. They're smart people. Okay, they know what they're doing. They know there's a risk that they could lose their money. I'm sure the money managers there and stuff like that are probably informing them, like, hey, you could lose your money. Understand what you're getting into. Not financial advice, obviously, but lock in profits, that kind of stuff. They're not stupid. They know what they're doing. Okay. So I don't think the cycles are going to be broken, just my opinion. But when eventually it appears that we're going into a bear market, we'll go back into dividend paying stocks much more heavily. Because again, you can invest in dividend paying stocks in a bull or bear market. Doesn't matter. That's the great thing about dividend ETFs and stocks is if crypto is down 90%, well, guess what? You can still make passive income on the side, right? Okay, so M1 Finance, BSTZ 4 cents, EFC 13 cents, TLTW $4.88, RA $7.62, 648 from USOI, and 1 penny from Maine. We'd like to own all of these in substantial amounts in the future, maybe with the exception of USOI. You guys already know my stance on that. When the fear factor of a recession, yield curve, all this nonsense that the markets keep talking about goes away, eventually oil prices will come down. It will become cheaper. Oil stocks will become cheaper, so the price of this should come down, which is why we're probably not going to want to hold it at that point, or at least not buy until it gets down to those prices. So $19.16 as of right now. I did actually want to point this out to you guys, okay? So, I shouldn't say I told you, in this case, I told you about the Anunnaki potentially coming back to Earth. Well, you got a website here. You guys obviously can see the URL. I'm not gonna post it because YouTube may have an issue with that. But you guys are free to look this up in your own time. Okay, there's been an increased sighting of UFOs around the world, not just in the United States. Obviously, mostly in the U.S. As a matter of fact, the sightings has massively increased since Trump's inauguration, and I, along with Trump getting elected, predicted that was going to happen. Not by saying there would be UFOs in the sky, but by saying that the Anunnaki would be coming back to Earth again. The Anunnaki, I was only told 7. There could be hundreds of thousands of them. I don't know. Okay, only give you guys the details I know. So then you got this link here on the Pentagon receiving more and more sightings of UFOs. You guys are free to go down that rabbit hole anytime you want to. I'm not going to go over it in depth here. In terms of the passive income we were going to make this week, it was going to be substantially more. But again, because of the holidays, the Yield Max ETFs, they're rolling their dividends out to the following Monday. I'm pretty sure this next upcoming week is going to be the same too. So we'll get the dividends that we were supposed to get this week on the 30th. And then for next week, they'll probably roll them out to the 6th. It's probably going to be something like that. So unfortunately, the passive income this week is not going to be as high, but for the next 2 weeks, it should be pretty substantial. Okay, so for the dividends that we got on Robinhood, we got $115.65 from FEPI, and QDTE $90.35. Again, QDTE had some insane, absolutely bonkers, eye-popping distribution. It was like 80 some cents per share. It's just absolutely crazy. So those are the only dividends that we got on Robinhood, and that total comes out to $206. We do not have any options premiums this week because, again, the ones that we did for Soxhole or the 300 shares that we have, that's going to be for a month out. For Soxhole, we don't really want to sell it for pennies on the dollar for profit. So what we're probably going to do is we'll let the contract kind of roll up into the expiration. And when it gets close to expiration, if the price of, let's say our average cost is $31.60, which it is, the strike price is $32, which means that if we let it expire and let's say the price of the Soxhole shares are at $35, but our expiration, by the time of expiration, the strike price is only $32, well, we just missed out on $900 in profit. We don't want to do that, okay? Especially after seeing what happened with Palantir, SoundHound, all that kind of stuff. Okay, we missed out big time on those. We could have made probably at least a couple $100,000 if we waited for the peak of all of those different positions. So what we're going to do is we're going to see how it plays out until expiration. If the price is much higher by then, we'll just roll the contracts out for more premium and set a higher strike price going out in time. Until we see a price on the chart that we think we're probably satisfied with. In that case, we'll probably get out at that point for maybe whatever the amount of profit is. It's hard to say at this point. As for the call debit spreads, was kind of thinking they were going to play out by this point in time. They have not. So what we're going to do is we're probably going to wait until about a week or two before the expiration on these things, and we're going to close them out. Okay, we're going to close them out regardless of whether they're in profit, not in profit. We don't give a damn at this point. Okay, we'll close them out, and then we'll just simply open new ones, probably for a March, June expiration, something like that. Because we do still think the miners have a lot of upside, but yeah, it's taken a little bit longer than expected. So that's kind of the thought process on that. So for the buys this week, we bought some more CLSK. We also bought some SPYT. We told you we're getting back into dividend paying stocks. We're basically just going to buy what we already have and then stack that on for crypto. And then aside from that, just buy more dividend paying stocks. Okay, kind of getting ready to make that shift from crypto back into dividend paying stocks. I do want to say that I think that likely crypto still has another 12 months of upside to go. Don't discount, don't misinterpret what I'm saying here. Like, oh yeah, we're gonna go back from crypto to dividend paying stocks. Oh god, they're gonna sell everything. What are we gonna do, guys? That's not what I'm saying. Okay, we'll position in over the next 12 months as it makes sense, and we'll take profit off the table as it makes sense. Okay, because we still think in 2026, for crypto at least, that there is going to be a bear market. Not 2025, 2026. Okay, 2025 should be very bullish. So yeah, that's what's going on with that. Well, I already posted the the thing on X about CLSK, so you guys can see what I'm talking about. There's an obvious reason why we bought more CLSK. The 4-hour is massively oversold. Every time you get that oversold signal on the RSI, the price has shot up substantially. Sometimes more than others, and also we are on that macro trend line on the weekly time frame. Okay, so CLSK, I mean, this is looking pretty brutal. I'm not going to lie. We've been in this situation before. Are we concerned about it? No, we're going to keep buying the dip until eventually the markets cough up a profit. It's just a matter of time before it does. It's happened literally every single time. Okay, we've seen it time and again. Horizon, Zcash, Soundhound, Palantir, SoFi, Robinhood. I mean, we've had all these positions. They've eventually gone up massively. MicroStrategies, that the MSTU, that's another good example. We've literally seen this ad nauseum countless times. So eventually, the price has got to pop to the upside. Okay, it can't just stay down here forever. What goes up must come down, and what goes down must come up. That's all I'm going to say about that. Okay, so here's the buys as of right now. So we got 5 shares on the 26th, 1060 a share, 5 shares on the 27th, 1024 share, 40 shares at 995 on the 27th, 50 shares at 985 on the 27th. What we're probably going to do is we're going to hold back a little bit and we're going to wait to see if it gets down to that 9 to 950. If I'm being completely honest, I really highly doubt that's going to happen. I mean, the chart is looking pretty disgusting at this point. I would think that the downside on CLSK is pretty much just about over. It's hard to say definitively exactly where the bottom is, but it looks like we're pretty close to a bottom in stocks. Also pretty close to a bottom in a lot of these miners and a lot of the crypto plays as well. Okay, so SPYT, you can see we got those 20 shares here. The goal actually over time is to get to, I think it's like we want to get to $200 a month of passive income just on this position, along with a bunch of other positions we have written down. So I think the total for that would need to be somewhere around 600 shares. Obviously, it's going to take a while to get to that point, and that's fine. But, dividend investing is kind of a long-term game. It's not really short-term like crypto. Okay, so here's all the buys. So 2.55 shares on the 23rd, 2.55 again on the 23rd, 5 on the 23rd, 2.52 on the 24th. Let's see here, another 2.52 and 2.51 on the 24th, 26th, and 2.52 on the 27th. SPYT, it doesn't really move around a lot. It's meant to kind of stay around that $20 range. So, yeah, it's basically just an income play. I mean, the dividend yield itself, combined with maybe if you buy this thing on the dip when the S&P drops occasionally, will probably give you roughly about what your total return is going to be, maybe 20-25% year over year, which is still pretty good. I mean, that generally speaking does actually beat the S&P 500 every year, so not bad, right? Okay, so let's go ahead and add this up. Should be pretty simple. 206 plus 1916. Next week is probably going to be much more substantial than this week was because, again, of the yield max ETFs. But, there's a time to buy the dip, a time to sell for profits, and a time to simply hold positions. I think this is kind of the buy and hold one of those particular scenarios, or BTFD as they call it, buy the dip, right? $225.16, so not too shabby. Anyways, hope you all enjoyed this content. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see y'all later. Peace.